All right, guys, we're going to start this video by saying Jesus is the greatest marketer in the world, and I'm going to prove it to you. So this is video number 3 on my series of breaking down marketing techniques that Jesus used to turn Christianity into what it is today. And I'm going to make that applicable for you in your business and in your brand. You don't specifically need to be a Christian to benefit from this video, but I'm sure Christians out there who are entrepreneurs, who are building personal brands or doing something in the marketing world will be able to relate to this in a real serious way. So I'm excited for this one. Today is another foundational one that we're going to get into, and it is confidence. Now, you may be thinking to yourself, how is confidence a marketing strategy? Have you ever been in a room and you can see when that person walks in who's confident in what they carry? They're confident in their own skin. There's an energy about them that causes people's heads to turn in their direction. Well, that is same and true online. When you are creating content on the internet and you are confident about what you're talking about, there's an energy that you exude. Sometimes it's not what you say, it's the energy that comes across when you're saying what you say. Does that make sense? I hope that makes sense. You can't respond to me right now, but hopefully that makes sense. And Jesus, he carried an energy about him. He carried a confidence about who he was made to be, who he was called to impact, and what he was here to do. And it's one thing that my wife says, and I love it. She says, being shy is keeping you broke. And I added a layer to that. Being shy is keeping you broke and broken. There are many of you right now who are doing incredible things. But the reason why your brands don't grow is because you are afraid to share it under the guise of shyness, under the guise of I'm just shy. And some of you even use the excuse of I'm an introvert. And now I understand that being introverted genuinely speaks about the way that you recharge in private settings and all of those types of things, right? But the Bible talks about being bold. So if you're a Christian and you're a Christian introvert, there's still a boldness that you need in this life. You can recharge in private. We see in the scripture, Jesus goes away to recharge at different times on his own to pray and recharge. So maybe even Jesus was an introvert. Who knows? But he had a boldness. And so you can't use being an introvert as an excuse. I'm going to do this video in 15 minutes, by the way. You can't use being an introvert as an excuse. You can't use being shy as an excuse because they're keeping you broke and broken. Okay? So let's get into it today. Why do I say this? Jesus carried a real confidence and an authority when he spoke, and you can see it in the examples that he gives. And we need to have this in our business as well, and about the amazing things that God's called us to do. Let me give you some examples of some key scriptures. But before I do, I want to speak to that person who's got years of experience. Years of experience. You know your topic like the back of your hand. God's been speaking to you. You hear it in your prayer time. You see it when you're out and about. You know it in your heart. God's called you to start talking. God's called you to start being visible. God needs you to start being visible. And you're terrified. You're terrified of what people will think. You're terrified of what people are going to say. You're terrified of the outcome. What if they don't like me? What if this? What if that? I need you to focus right now on what God has given you and not on the opinion of the people. I need you to focus right now on what God has given you, the expertise, the lane that you walk in, and not what the people are going to say. Let's get into some examples of Jesus. I want you to hear some of the audacious things that Jesus said. Listen to some of these I am statements that Jesus was walking around saying. Jesus said, I am the bread of life. Whoever comes to me will never go hungry, and whoever believes in me will never be thirsty. What a claim! What a claim. But he completely owned who he was and what he was there to carry. He wasn't afraid to say it. Number 2, he said, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me, by the way, I'm looking at my laptop, that's why I'm looking over here. He said, I am the light of the world. Whoever follows me will never walk in darkness, but will have the light of life. Imagine someone coming up to you saying, I'm the light of the world. I'm the light of the, what are you, the sun? You're the sun? You're the reason why this whole planet has light? You? You think, who's this? Who is this? Who does this person think they are? I don't know if you guys have seen The Boys, the show. It's a wild show. But I was watching the episode with my wife the other day. And boy, it's getting dark. The way that there's a guy in the show who basically wants to be a god, and if people don't want to worship him, he's killing them. They have to believe that he's all powerful, he's all knowing, and if you don't like it, he's killing them because they got superpowers, and he's like the strongest guy, so he's killing them. And he's making all these claims, forcing people to believe, and if they don't believe, he's killing them. And it's a lie. But Jesus is being real. He's like, this is what I got. This is what I carry. This is it. And when people hear it, the energy that is, bro, imagine him looking you in your face and telling you, I am the light of the world. You're looking around and thinking, the light of the world? The sun? How greedy. Have you seen that video? How greedy. Anyway, let's continue. He makes some bold claims. I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me. No one? Sorry? Sorry? Who does he think he is? But he knows what he carries, and he's bold about what he carries. He's not thinking about your opinion about what he carries. He's thinking about the one that gave him the mission to carry it. And it's the same as us. Sometimes we get upset, we get shy, we get in ourselves. We're like, somebody's like, oh, my wife does this to me all the time. My wife will be like, oh yeah, and my husband, by the way, yeah, he's taken so many brands to over 100,000 followers. He's helped people make millions through his content. And I'm like, yeah, well, that's me. like there's a part of me that's like, it doesn't want to own it. Do you get what I'm saying? It's like, yeah, you know how I go. And like, I'm afraid of people calling me cocky or stuck up or proud. All these words that people throw around. But there is a place where you can be fully bold about who you are and not be proud because you understand fully the source of how you got what you got. The source you have came from the source. You understand what I mean? The source came from the source. So like you're bold about it, not because you're proud, but because you know where the source comes from. Do you understand what I mean? You know who the real source is. And so I got to walk in that more. We got to walk in that more. As marketers, you got to really be about what you're about. And so this is another foundational one. This isn't a specific tactic. This is a heart posture. This one is an internal one to say, look, you got to own it. You went through what you went through, and other people need to hear it so that they can come out the other side. God gave you the wisdom to learn how to do this way and learn this technique and that technique. And there's people in the world that need that technique, and it's going to get them to the next level. And right now, they're praying for you to show up. And you got to show up bold. You got to show up like you're on it. You got to show up like you're the guy, because God made you the guy in this scenario. When God wants to do something on the earth, he uses a man. He fuels a man to be able to do it, or woman. And you are that man or woman in your respective field. And so look, listen. You know how to get people to become good investors? You better shout from the rooftop about that. Don't be shy about that. Don't be like, oh, by the way, I can tell you where to put the savings. I know a couple of good stocks. No. Be bold. Hey, listen, I've made 200% on my portfolio over the last year. Let me tell you some stocks. Okay, like, be bold. Come with an energy, because that's what Jesus was on. And this is Jesus's marketing style. Okay, so if you want to market biblically, you need to market boldly. Okay, I got you. And then there's a third thing that comes with this, which is the hard part that people don't like. And the truth is that if you walk that boldly, people aren't going to understand you. People are going to misunderstand you. People are going to say you're cocky. People are going to say you're proud. And I know you're scared of that. And that's the reason why you haven't done it yet. But I'm going to be honest, it's going to come. It's going to come. Because it happened to Jesus. Let me show you some examples. In Luke 5:21, the Pharisees and the teachers of the law began thinking to themselves, who is this fellow who speaks blasphemy? who can forgive sins. Who can forgive sin but God alone? Because Jesus was saying he can forgive sin. So they're saying, who's this guy think he is talking about? I forgive sin. He's not God. Sorry. Sorry. Another one. The Pharisees challenged him. This is in John 8:13 and also verse 25. The Pharisees challenged him, saying, here you are, appearing as your own witness. Your testimony is not valid. They said, who are you? Jesus, the Pharisees, the people, they misunderstood Jesus. And if we're going to be real about it, he was crucified for it. And for you, that might be being crucified online. That might be getting dragged on TikTok. Myself, my wife, we've been dragged on TikTok at different times for trying to help people. And the funny thing is, people will drag you in the comments. And then other people will be DMing you, telling you, thank you so much for sharing this. You've helped me and my partner's marriage. You've helped us become more open. You've helped us become more transparent. So the boldness to bring it to the table causes some people to misunderstand you and some people to love you. Some people to support you, some people to hate you. Some people to want you to help them, some people to hate you. Literally. I'm trying to think of a cool way to say it. Some people to stab you and some people to support you. Maybe I'll go with that. Some people stab, some people support, right? It creates polarity. But that's how I want you to show up. I want you to show up bold. I want you to show up in people's faces. Yeah? They said he was a blasphemous man who claims to be God. Said, who does he think he is talking about forgiving sin? And if Jesus had people who misunderstood him, misrepresented him, and hated him to the point of killing him, you got to bear in mind, when you read the scripture, Jesus and Bar Jesus, there's two of them, and they actually voted, instead of a criminal, a convicted criminal, they voted that Jesus should die instead. And they said, let the blood be on our own hands. That's how much they wanted him dead. Yeah? And part of the reason that people hated him was because of the bold claims he was making. But every single one of them was true. I ain't asking you to lie about nothing. I'm asking you to be completely confident in who the source, in the source that the source has given you. You know what I mean? The source that the source has given you. See now, if you're just being confident in your source and you have no knowledge of the fact that you've been given this by someone, then maybe you are proud. But even with Jesus, with everything that he boldly proclaimed, he said, hey, look, I don't do anything unless I see the Father doing it. He was submitted, right? So whether you're Christian or not Christian, I hope you're understanding the message that I'm sharing today. That God, the God of this universe, the reason you can breathe is because of God, whether you believe in him or not. Boom, that's done. That's out there. So everything that you have, every bit of expertise you have, how you made your millions, how you built your business, how you learned how to do 6 figures in e-commerce, how you learned how to coach and train, how you got your doctorate, whatever it might be, without God, it's impossible. So flex in your source, but never forget the real source. You understand what I mean? And as long as you do that, you'll never be proud. You'll never be arrogant. You'll never be cocky. You will be misunderstood. Because when you come with that type of energy, they will misunderstand you. But I promise you, the energy affects how you show up online. I promise you, it will affect the views you get. It will affect you when you speak on stage and in rooms. It would affect you even when you walk into a room. People will be able to see it. So I know this ain't a clear marketing strategy today, but there's something about being that guy and knowing you're that guy that changes the world for people to recognize that you're that guy online and offline. So if you make this shift, when you come to the camera, you're going to be speaking with a different level of confidence and boldness. It doesn't have to be fierce, like, it can be chill, but it's bold. And so when you're on that, I promise you, people are going to see you in a different light. And because of that different light that they see you in, it's going to change your views. It will change the engagement entirely. I've seen it happen time and time and time again. So this is a foundational one. And guys, if you want to come to my masterclass, which is happening on the 21st of May, make sure you do that. It's going to be down there in the description. But regardless, anyway, why am I being chill about my masterclass? I need to be live about my masterclass. Listen, you lot need to come. There's a lot going on there. I'm helping people change their lives through content, and I want you to be there. Thank God he's given me this wisdom, and I want to share it with you. So come to the masterclass. I need to be bold about that, right? I need to take lesson from what I'm sharing right now. But this is third lesson of Jesus, the marketing genius, marketing biblically through the life of Jesus. And I'm going to break down so many different ones. But I've literally sat here and recorded 3 today. So I'm probably going to continue recording on another day. But like, comment, and subscribe. Make sure you comment. Let me know how you found this. Make sure you apply what I've shared. And I'll see you again next time.